Hello, amazing one, and welcome to this episode of the Sassy CEO podcast. I'm your host, Paula Bailey, and I am super excited to welcome a very special guest onto the episode today. This is a lady that I had the pleasure of doing a couple of sessions with at the start of the year. She's an amazing kinesiologist and pranic healer, Glen, and Cara brings a really refreshing insight into the whole take on energy and business. Now, this topic I feel is super important for the conversation for us women in business, because the more we can understand about our energetic field and how that relates to us in terms of using it as a tool to grow ourselves and to grow our business, well, the possibilities are infinite. Now, this is a really important episode. If you find yourself struggling with the day-to-days ups and downs of business, if you feel like you are everything, you wear all the hats in business, you find it really hard to kind of step back or disassociate, if you have that whole I am the business thing going on, or if you wish that you had better ways of being able to perhaps cleanse the energy, clear funkiness, you can kind of feel it in the air or feel it when you're having a bad day. We give you some tools to be able to deal with that on an energetic level. Now, in this episode, we will look at the overall energetic field and how that relates to your business growth. We'll also share some really quick and easy ways that you can cleanse the energy if things are feeling a little bit funky. And I go through specific scenarios that are very common for us in business and how you can actually use energy then to cleanse that funkiness. And then Cara shares an awesome secret visualization technique that will literally take you 5 minutes, no more, to help you unleash the Sassy CEO within you so that you can finally step out from having to be everything in the business and feeling trapped to actually feeling like you've got a business that is supporting you and giving you freedom. Speaking of scaling and freedom and all that juicy stuff in business, if you would like to get your hands on your very own Sassy CEO strategic plan template, please head over to sassyceo.com.au/gift, because we have the Sassy CEO strategic plan template waiting there for you so that you can download that and have a go at putting it together for yourself. But for now, let's just jump straight into it and talk all things energy with Cara Glen. Hi, Cara. Thank you so much for joining us on the Sassy CEO podcast. It's so nice to have you here.
Hey, Paula. Thank you so much for inviting me on your show. It's a pleasure to be here.
You're welcome. We're so grateful for your time and your energy. Speaking of energy, I want to talk all things energetic.
Yes.
So you are a perfect woman to discuss all of this.
Yes.
You and I have done some amazing kinesiology sessions. You've helped me so much in, a few things, especially at the start of the year for me. And I just really wanted to share your very magic ways, I guess, in this podcast and really get down to understanding a lot more about, I guess, energetic fields and how that contributes to us being successful in business, which is the name of the game here.
Absolutely. It has, it has just so much to do with business. So I cannot wait to dive in and just chat all things energy and business.
Yay. Okay, let's get started. So I guess before I get down into all the questions that I want to ask you, I think
majority of my clients are business clients. So I do in-person and Skype sessions or Zoom sessions. And they come in and energetically, physically, emotionally, or nutritionally, things are a little bit out of balance. But also with their business, they lack energy in business. Their business is not quite where they want it to be. It feels a little bit wobbly, I guess you could say.
Sure.
So with the kinesiology, it's all about muscle testing to what is actually going on and then utilizing techniques to get the body back into balance. So things like flower essences, chakra balancing, sweeping out congested energy and projecting beautiful, clean energy back in, affirmations, emotional freedom techniques. So a whole basket of beautiful, holistic, natural techniques to help your body get back into balance. And it's really about empowering the client that they are their own healer and that they have all the tools and all the answers within them. And it's just bringing that to surface. So when I do the sessions, it's nothing new for the client. They have a lot of like light bulb moments, those I saw that sign. I had that little voice in my head for so long, and it's just that confirmation. Okay, what do we need to do to release this? So in a nutshell, that's what kinesiology is.
Oh yeah, it's so difficult to just summarize that in 30 seconds, summarize all this amazing work you do.
Yeah.
Yes, it's brilliant. And I have to say, even just from personal experience, I mean, I know, I have promised myself that I wanted to be as transparent and as authentic and real on this show and across all my social media platforms to really share the journey to help other women do great things in their business and realize that there's lots of tools and resources. But I just distinctly remember one of our first sessions doing that clearing on my womb of all places, which was really, really interesting because it's like the center of creativity.
Absolutely.
And almost 10 months later, the level of creativity, I mean, there's lots of things that have happened along the way, but I think that clearing of maybe some, dead energy that was there or, whatever, however you want to describe it, seemed to sort of lay that path for me then bringing in other resources, having these, listen to that idea. Isn't that funny?
Absolutely.
And being able to act on that. So it's, a testament to what can actually happen when you do this. Now, a couple of questions from that description that you just gave me. The first most burning one, which I think I get this question a few times when I've mentioned, you should go have a chat to Cara. And I often get a lot of people who have beliefs that to do that type of work, you have to physically be in the room.
Absolutely.
Because obviously we talk about muscle testing and they always say, well, surely. So just on that note, can you clear that up?
Absolutely.
Listeners? Yeah.
So on a real basic level, everything is energy. And so when we are doing a kinesiology session via Zoom or Skype, it can even be done through FaceTime, whatever you opt to do, I'm setting a really strong intention to connect with your energy. And so it's no different to connecting with your energy in person. It's just we're connecting a different form. And so I muscle test on my body because I'm tuning into your energy. And that's how I get the very accurate answers is through muscle testing on my body with the intention that I'm actually tuning in. And I guess the word that we use is surrogating your energy. So that in a nutshell is how it works. And all my clients, they have had really accurate results, fantastic treatments. And it's no different to being in person, really. That the only difference is that I might not give you a cup of tea. But other than that, that's really the only difference that we have through a Zoom session.
Got it. So good. Thank you so much for clearing that. And then the other thing is, because I think we use the term energy.
Yes.
So then I'm quite a visual learner.
Yeah.
I would really love if you could also explain a little bit more about energy, because we talk about energy a lot in business, obviously energy management, protect your energy. We speak to eating well so that you eat a really good meal and then you get energy from that meal, but you're meaning something quite different. So could you clarify that a little bit for us?
Yeah. So my view of energy is it's more something that you feel rather than you visually see. So it's felt. So you walk into a room and something might not feel quite right. That's the energy around you. You might walk into a part of the house and it just feels quite out of balance. That's something to do with the energy in that room that you can definitely cleanse to create harmony back in. So within your body, you do have an aura. So you have a couple of layers of your aura, and then you have major chakras.
And that sort of permeates outside. Like if you imagine, like there's lots of drawings of like an energetic field going out or outside our bodies.
So everyone's really different for how big their aura can be. So it can be a couple of centimeters to like a couple of meters away from the body. So it can be quite big. And then we also have the chakras. So the major chakras and the minor chakras, and then meridians all throughout the body as well.
Which is why you need someone like Cara to help you, I guess, learn how to tap into all those things for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. But you can definitely at home start practicing straight away anyway, with just really the best way to start feeling your own energy is just becoming really present and just sitting and stopping and creating some conscious space just to feel what is going on with your body. So it's just sitting there in a meditation that you could do, or just sitting before you jump into a work project or launching a program, and just asking your body, what's going on? What is it feeling like? So your base chakra, how is my mindset around money? How is my feelings of security? Your sacral chakra is all about creativity, like your throat chakra, which is all about communication and your inner truth. So you can definitely start to tune in and ask those questions straight away.
So important. I mean, I know in the program, that we run with the Sassy CEO Collective, I mean, it's all about setting strategic plans, but also then incorporating, soul and strategy into that. And we talk so much about, well, it's great, you've used that left side of your brain to create this strategic plan. It's like this roadmap of where you're going, and then starting to bring in, intuition,
Absolutely.
and energy and presence and consciousness into how we then navigate that map.
Absolutely.
Because there's things that tools that you have at your disposal to be able to make better decisions and to be able to, like, I call it intuitive leadership.
Absolutely. And I tell nearly all my clients to start following the breadcrumbs. And what I mean by that is you are just sitting there and all of a sudden you might want to go to the beach, and you're like, that's so bizarre, but just sit with that and let that process, because that is that higher self. That is the next step for your business, because as you go down to the beach, you're increasing your energy frequency. And
it's funny. It's funny you should say that, because it happens all the time. Like, you get those little whispers and it feels so counterintuitive. For me, every time I feel like I'm pushing shit up a hill, basically, it's like I get that little nudge, and you're like, oh, no, I'm just being lazy now. And it's never that. It's almost like the universe is asking you just to get out the way.
Absolutely.
So that it can work its magic, or whatever it is. It's just this new level of faith now in that voice of just going, okay, cool. If I'm meant to go for a walk, I'll go for the walk.
That's it. And it's really, and I know, like when I very first started delving in all of this, like, energy work, and I also had those similar feelings of, what, go for a walk? Like, how is that going to help my business grow? How am I going to get the clients from that? But like I said before, it is about increasing your energy frequency and creating space for your soul client to land, because they're all around you. Like, your soul clients, that, the money that you're trying to manifest into your life, it's there, it's ready, and it just needs the space to land. And so that walk is about getting grounded, increasing your energy frequency. You might bump into somebody and have a conversation that opens up a project that you had never thought of. So I tell all my clients to just really listen to those little whispers. They are just pivotal in growing your business.
Love it. So, as a quick checklist, I love a good checklist, not a to-do list. I'm anti-to-do list, but checklists are always really good.
Yes.
What are some things or some feelings that we can become aware of in our body when we can go, like, I've been doing this for a long time, so sometimes it's hard for me to remember, but I just think if you're just starting this and you're like, I actually want to be more aware of this, what are some things that you might be feeling or noticing that you can check and go, okay, that is actually just a symptom of me now, just, maybe having low energy or being a little bit out of alignment? Is there some key little check points that you can give us some advice on?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different things, and I'll start with, I guess, we can tune it into if you're doing one-on-one clients or with your business, and you see the client and then afterwards you feel really exhausted. So that's check number one. What's going on?
Absolutely. And I'm just going to add there, insert client, team member, or key stakeholder, because for some listeners, for example, if you're not running a client business and you've got a product business,
absolutely,
it's just the interaction with someone else. So I just want to preface that, because, sorry to interrupt you, Gary, just because I don't want your croc brain to cancel yourself out from hearing the magic of this answer. Absolutely. It's like, checking in when I work with that team member, or when I have a meeting with that key stakeholder, or, you know, not everyone we have to work with all the time. Like sometimes key stakeholders, it might just be like a one-off and you just have to deal with it and that's it.
Yeah.
But it's just that awareness of how you're feeling in the interaction.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
And it could be a phone call. It could be an email, any interaction within your business. If you walk away and feel really exhausted, deplete, that's step number one, to ask yourself why. So are you charging the appropriate price? Do you need to actually increase your price for that right energy exchange for you to not feel exhausted? Yeah. Do you need to create some stronger boundaries? Did you really want to say no to that project, but you said yes? And then the whole time you felt really guilty. So this is all energy. This is all energy. And that's just your body's way of communicating, because it can't verbally say, hey, that project, no, don't do it. It will communicate through feeling exhaustion, feeling a bit of anxiety, or just, you know, that's how your body starts to really communicate. And that's how we can really listen to our body. So we can also create some energy protection as well. So that's simple things like using essential oils, saying a bit of an affirmation or a prayer or an invocation on, I now shield myself before I go into this meeting, things like that. Apart from that, so besides having that interaction with clients or anybody else, a team member or anything like that, other ways to check in with your body is you can also just sit and see how your body physically is feeling. So are your shoulders up? Do you feel tight? Does your tummy feel a bit off? Do you have a bit of fluttering in your chest? And to start to process this and ask what is going on. So is that fluttering in the stomach and that chest, is that just your energy getting excited to do that presentation, or is it not in alignment? They're really good questions to start asking yourself.
So good. I love that you added that. I think I wrote a post a couple of months ago, and it was around, you know, are we sometimes backing off from doing things because we feel like it's not in alignment, you know, whereas sometimes we really need to check in with ourselves. Like, it's when I'm feeling that now, I really do check in to make sure that fear is not leading my decision.
Absolutely.
Because I feel like there have been key points in my business where I felt like it wasn't in alignment, but it was actually just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So that feeling of I'm uncomfortable, or so, it must feel like it's not in alignment. And it's such an important part, especially if you're a very aware human, and there's more of us popping up, and I have no doubt that's why you're here listening. It's that reminder that it's okay to feel uncomfortable. It doesn't mean, you know, a life of consciousness and awareness doesn't mean that we're never going to feel uncomfortable. Otherwise we'd never grow.
Absolutely. And I was just going to say that thing with that butterflies, the heart beating really quickly before doing a presentation, a workshop, an important phone call. And when you can identify, okay, so if it's not fear, but I still have this feeling like I can't handle it, utilize that as your power. So kind of really hone into that energy and be like, this is actually charging me. This is just my soul really in alignment. And I'm so excited. And it's just rewiring that feeling of what we maybe previously had called it as nerves, anxiety, to then fast forward and going, you know what? That sensation actually is excitement. And the more that you start to tell yourself that, you get to those meetings and you're like, oh my God, I feel that feeling, but I'm just so excited. So that's right.
Just totally, I love it. I mean, even from a performance perspective, like just reframing definition, like we can take, you know, one situation and we can put so many different spins on it. If you had one situation and 4 different people were looking at that one situation, they could all come up with different realities for themselves based on obviously our filters and the beliefs and our value system. So such an important reminder that we have a choice.
We absolutely do. Completely. 100%. Yes.
Yeah. Which is also an interesting question, because I know a lot of people, like when I chat to them about, doing energy work and having it contribute to their business, because I mean, we do, focus on doing that in our programs as well. We focus on the woman as a holistic being. It's very important to me as I head out these programs. And that's why I wouldn't ask anyone to do any work that I'm not prepared to do. Like, I do the work myself and shine the light on my own shadows. But I think there sometimes can be this like overlay between different, what's the word, modalities, say,
Yeah.
and people fearing. I can remember probably 20 years ago being absolutely terrified of having my tarots done or having any form
Yes.
of, and like, right, because I was so
Absolutely. Yeah.
scared. What
Yes.
if that
Yeah.
person maybe told me that I was going to end up a spinster and on my
That's
own for the rest
it.
of my life,
Yeah.
or that maybe they were going to tell me that I was going to die next year, and
Yeah.
I
Don't
just
want to
couldn't.
hear
And then
it.
all of a
Yeah.
sudden I started, delving into, okay, maybe I'll get my cards read, and before you knew it, I was like loving it. And
Yeah. Addicted
but
to
there's
it.
so many different modalities, and I want to touch on this concept of like, we're reading energy, but nothing's set in stone. And it's this point of choice. Like, I think there's a fine
Yes.
balance between our
Yes.
soul contracts.
Yes.
Can't believe that this went here, because this is
Yeah.
not where I was expecting it to go, but this is really cool.
Yeah.
And choice.
Yes. And so
What's your thoughts on that? And people go, maybe someone comes to you and they're fearing you reading their energy because you might tell them something that means that their fate is doomed, or they're never going to have the business that they
Yes.
desire in their head, and they're scared to come to get the reading.
So within all my sessions, anything that comes to surface, your body is completely ready for it. So nothing that you aren't ready for, that won't come up. So only things energetically that you are ready for will come to surface. So if you have never had energy work before, not everybody, but sometimes your session will just be shifting things that you're comfortable with before you're ready to dive deep. And like you said, we did the womb healing for you, that you were just so ready for that, but you had done a lot of work previous to that session as well. So I think for all the listeners, keep in mind that whether it is kinesiology, tarot cards, any form of energy work at all, if you feel aligned to go and search for it, the things will come to surface that you're ready for. And then when we are going through the session, it is about just getting you into alignment with your highest good or something better. And it's not setting concrete either. So it's just navigating projects. So for example, I'll use this as an example. I had a client come in and they're about to launch a project and they wanted to know, does it feel in alignment? So energetically, I went into the energy of the project, and it was not just one 3D thing. It's 5-dimensional. There's multiple layers to this. And it's, it came down to their mindset, but also the project in itself had its own energy as well. And it has its own chakras and it has its own, a whole energy field. So
it's so cool.
So we tapped into that as well. But yeah, like you said, it's not set in stone, and it's really just empowering the listeners that they are the healer, and they are their own healer. And especially within my sessions, I'm not saying anything based on my beliefs, my ethics, my opinion. It's coming through for their energy, and then it's up to them to take that away and empower themselves and learn and grow and and just blossom with those little bits and pieces that come through. It's up to them to then go further with that.
Do you know what I love most about what you just said? Like, I love the concept, and it's not a concept. I truly believe it is the way that it is. But for so many years, I have said the same thing over and over again, which is the biggest thing is, in order to grow and scale your business, you need to be stepping into a different identity, constantly, evolving yourself, but also that's in relation to how you see your business. And most women who are coming to me initially are literally the business.
Yes.
So they identify as the business. They believe that everything is, and because of that close, like, inability to almost separate themselves out and realize that this is actually, I say your business is this organic entity.
Absolutely.
And I almost imagine this like this crystallized structure outside of my body now, and it has its own systems, and we can talk about logical system, marketing, sales, operations, customer service, all that sort of stuff. It has its own systems, has its own chakra, just like your own body.
Absolutely.
Often there's lots of things going on within our business, and we discover that through the magic of the way that I plan, which is why this is so cool, because it's so in alignment, and it helps to really help that woman when she's doing that quarter upon quarter separate out. And it's quite magic to see what happens when we stop making it all about ourselves, and we can truly separate out and see, I'm the healer.
Yes.
I can heal myself, but I can also grow this amazing, it's like your own little child outside of your own body.
Absolutely.
And you're
Absolutely.
nurturing it, and you're helping it to develop and giving it what it needs, and investing in it and investing in yourself, and
Yes.
doing the things that you need to create this amazing thing that will then
Absolutely.
really be an investment, because your business is there to create cash flow and wealth that you can continue to do great things, leave a legacy,
Absolutely.
as well as do great things for yourself and your family.
Absolutely.
I love that.
And I think it's quite empowering once you realize that the business does have its own energetic identity, and you can separate it a little bit and go, okay, this is my energy, this is my business's energy. It starts to create clarity, and it starts to create decision making on a whole new realm, because if things happen, it's nothing to do with you as such. It's the business. So for example, if you want to sell the business, that decision becomes easier. If you want to grow your business, that decision becomes easier, because you're working on yourself and your own energy field. And then you can go, okay, how can I nurture my business and its energy field? So things like, you know what, it even comes down to the color and the branding and the wording, that all has energy frequency behind it. And so I feel that once you can separate it, those decisions, and tuning into that energy, it starts to get a lot easier. Because for instance, you might love the color red, but then you go, okay, but my business and its entity, what color would really create an abundant business? And it might be a completely different color. So little things like that, it really starts to help. Yeah, it's quite amazing once you look at it. And I've had clients even visualize their business as particular. I was having a conversation with somebody, and they visualized their business as a horse, and it was just, free and wild. And I thought that was so empowering that they could visualize their business in that form.
Oh, totally.
Yes.
And I totally get that. Like, I mean, even for myself, as I've evolved and done the work in the last few months in particular, as I work with my own mentors, I visualize my business now like a big grid.
Yeah,
if you think, imagine the matrix, it's like this grid, and each woman that we help that sits within this grid, and we're all connected across the globe to contribute and make impact that raises the frequency of the entire globe and all the communities that we impact. And so I'm just imagining this beautiful grid that we're adding to all the time. And it's just such a beautiful thing when you allow it to leave you. I needed to heal all the things, because if I kept making it always about me, there was always these like things that just kept the whole thing stuck. So It's such an important step. And that's why I'm called the Sassy CEO, to help you actually step out and be the CEO, and look at it more objectively, and energetically, obviously, but not get stuck in what I call low frequency cycles.
Absolutely. And I guess for all the listeners, even just try that after you listen to this episode, or while you're listening to the episode, on visualize your business as a different entity, and what comes to mind, what crazy ideas come to mind, because that could be those little crumbs that you're about to follow once you see it in a whole new light. So it's really
that's
exciting.
Such a cool idea. Yeah, we'd love to hear it as well. Let us know if you're seeing this, post it below, or send through an email. I'll share it with Cara. I'm sure we'd love to hear what you're visualizing, what entities you're visualizing. Do you want to play a really cool game? I've had an idea.
Yes. Okay.
Are you with me? Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to give you, because I wanted to really get some tips on, things that we can do to maybe clean up our energy, or cleanse, detox.
Absolutely.
So tips that we can get from you that are real, that, listeners can take those away and remember these. But I thought what might be really cool is if I just give you a couple of different scenarios of something that, like things that have happened.
Yeah.
And then you can tell me, okay, like this is what's happened. Like what would you draw out of your bag of tricks?
Okay, absolutely.
To help with this situation.
Absolutely. Okay.
So maybe we have come away from working with a client, or we've got a difficult client, and it's making us just feel stressed out, like we're sort of like sitting awake at night worrying about this. Like, I talk about that client from hell. Usually it's, set up, because you've probably just not really defined what an amazing aligned client is for you yet. It's sort of the steps that we often do, or customer. So if you're feeling a little bit crappy around some bad client relationships, what's one thing we could do to change the frequency for ourselves?
Okay. Oh, so many things, but if I
your
could
favorite,
only pick one, my favorite, which you can literally do right now, is jump into a salt bath. So it's just table salt.
Yeah.
You get a large handful into a warm bath, lay in the bath, and what the salt does, it breaks down and disintegrates any energy that's not yours, any energy cords, any blockages within your body. Lay in it for 10, 15 minutes and you will feel amazing afterwards. Super easy. It's magical. Highly recommend it. Yeah.
Awesome. Good one. Yeah. Good one. Okay. Business person is dealing with feeling like they're running an adult childcare centre because their team are underperforming. They're still feeling like they have to do everything, even though they're paying these people to do things, and it's just exhausting, and it just feels like it's still all on their shoulders, and they're almost feeling quite a lot of resentment.
Okay. So the first thing that you could really do is tune back into your energy, because that behavior is sometimes a mirror of what's going on within yourself. And ask yourself, are you a good leader? Are you a good mentor? Are you encouraging your peers, or are you bringing them down? So this is a really good practice to tune back into yourself rather than projecting it on another person. Go down the beach or go down to a park wherever you live. Go into your backyard, sit on some grass, ask to be grounded, and then ask those questions. What is it within myself that I'm feeling that is projecting onto my work peers? And what can I do to create balance and harmony within my workplace? So
that's such powerful questions. I mean, questions we encourage all our clients to ask. And, sometimes that means that it, perhaps particular team members don't always stay, but the clearer you get on the energetic, like the footprint that you want your culture to have, and the vibe and everything. And that's okay. It's all right for people to decide or self-select.
And I think
not right.
The clearer that you get within your energy and the more work that you do on yourself, you start to attract like-minded people. And so maybe those particular employees, they might drop away because they also aren't in alignment with your business, and that's okay. It's their journey as well. And so as you start to do the work within yourself, and what I mean by do the work, it's just start to sit and ask the questions. Why do I feel like this? What's going on within my life? Like, why is my life like this? Look in your past, what has happened in the past to have created this present moment. So tune into all that energy, and you'll be so surprised with how your environment will start to dramatically transform.
Amazing. Okay. One that's very common in this day and age, just because of the technology we have access to, but you've put out some social media and someone's decided to poo-poo all over your post and be a bit of a troll.
Okay. Yeah.
How could you maybe cleanse your energy around that, or make peace with it in a loving way?
That's a really good question.
I mean, I know what I would say as a coach, but from an energetic perspective, what would you advice would you give?
An energetic perspective would be, again, it is really about reflecting back within yourself and asking, why has this mirrored or projected into my reality? And sometimes it's the self-talk that you're having, that self-belief. Maybe that person has literally written what you have been telling yourself the whole time anyway.
Which is shocking. Sometimes we don't realize how horrible we can be to ourselves inside.
Absolutely. Yeah. But for a quick little thing that you could definitely do straight away is, and it is, I'll try to describe it as well as I can, but if you feel that you can't let it go, you can't stop thinking about it, something that you can instantly do is visualize that you have a cord going to that person. So right just in your rib cage, and just visualize your hands going across and just go chop, chop, chop. And it's like you're chopping away that energetic cord. It's a bit out there, but give it a go.
Oh, totally.
I highly recommend.
I highly recommend it. I have done this and it works.
Yeah.
And then on a very 3D level, you can then go block and delete at the same time to just remove that. But I think, all jokes aside, we can do that. But there's a fine balance between, if something's really triggering you, being okay to step into the shadow for a second and going, what is it about that particular comment? I mean, when we first start getting it, it's always, the more you put yourself out there, the more someone is going to say something. Let's just face that, and it's okay. But what's it showing? And then being okay to go, that's okay. That can also, someone else can take responsibility for their own behavior and belief.
That's it. And I love how you brought up the diving into the shadow as well, because a lot of people comment on how much they dislike social media for particular posts that come up, and I feel that social media is a really good reflection on how you feel about yourself, and whatever triggers you, ask yourself why, because it's such a good learning experience, and it's such a healing experience that if you see a particular post of somebody that has a really successful business and they're traveling overseas, and you're sitting there financially barely bringing in any income, and you're really triggered by that, dive into that. Really dive into that journal and ask the questions like, what is it that's triggering me? And rather than seeing it as a negative, bring more of that into your social media, because like they say, the 5 people around you is what you become. Utilize social media for that. So if you want to travel overseas, if you want a really successful business, start following people like that, because then it increases your energy frequency as well.
Totally.
Yeah, so that's a good little tip.
Important.
Yeah. So
that's a fabulous tip.
Yeah. At the moment, say for example, I am wanting to go to Bali a couple of times next year. So I'm literally following people that are going to Bali. I think I'm following like hashtag Bali holidays. Everything to do with Bali at the moment, and a couple of other educational things that I'm learning about as well. So I've got all of that coming up in my social media.
Yep. And just keep feeding your mind that amazing stuff. Okay. So just the last one then. Oh, actually, I've got one more. I've got 2 more. Overwhelm, very common. Feeling overwhelmed. Is there something we can do to help with overwhelm?
Yeah. And I'm sure your listeners have heard it all before, but get grounded. So when you're overwhelmed, you're in the mind, you've lost touch with the body, and it's all about getting grounded. And what I mean by this is get barefoot onto the ground, whether it is sand, grass, just anything like that, real organic, beautiful earth matter, and just sit and even ask to be grounded, ask for the overwhelm to be released. That's a really good way to start. Dive into your house and see what's in your cupboards. Maybe you have like a beautiful essential oil that you could just smell that helps with the overwhelm. Maybe it's that salt bath that you can get into. Maybe it's exercise if you've got that little bit of time after work. It's just starting to utilize the tools and resources that you already have and expand from that. So highly recommend. Just there's so many things that you can do, and it's all around you. You don't have to go out and spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
It could be right in the backyard.
Love it. Okay, so then last one, rather than going and reaching for another cup of coffee, to just get that, I feel awake and I feel good.
Yeah.
What's your favorite way to just feel good in business?
Yeah, for me, it's meditation. So there's a brilliant meditation, which you could maybe put the link into, that I highly recommend. That is just next level for anyone in business. Highly recommend. Meditation is amazing just to boost up the energy. Also, I love just going for a walk along the beach. I'm really lucky. I live right next to the beach. That's another amazing thing that I can do. But I'm loving like all those mushroom, like raw cacao type drinks as well. Like I find that that's really boosts my energy quite a fair bit. So like the reishi mushroom. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
There's so many things. I think it just opens up a whole new world of tools. I always say just keep expanding your toolbox, because
absolutely,
business is this marathon of, like we're not here to just, it's not going to be a quick thing. Like everyone keeps going, I got to get there. And like, if we really just slow down and just actually look at this objectively, it's like this journey that we want to enjoy. and realize that there's
Absolutely.
going to be ups and downs to it. We're going to have
Yeah,
great days and we're going to have hard days. And we have at our fingertips such amazing tools to be able to navigate through what the roadmap is that we've set. If you've set yourself up with a good plan,
yeah,
you know, to just really support yourself as a leader in business. And I want to preface that, like, I know a lot of women will go, I'm not a leader because I haven't really got anyone working with me yet. Well, you know, for you to move forward into a different paradigm, to be someone different and to actually get what you want, I guarantee you need to change up what you're doing.
yeah,
And this is just an introduction, a beautiful introduction into just how much you've got available to you, the abundance of tools and resources to just guide you into where you were always meant to be in the first place.
absolutely. And I
Yeah.
think it's also the conversations that I have with clients, it's just follow what lights you up. And the
Yes.
abundance in the business will bloom with it. And it's just being really transparent and real with what lights you up and not what you think people want to hear. So if you feel that that fancy holiday is what you're dreaming to do, but you feel that you should say something else, don't. Follow what truly authentically lights you up, and the rest will follow.
Yes.
So
I love
yeah,
that. It's just, I think, this new place of us, not just as women, just as human beings. I think it's an important message for every human to just live
absolutely.
in, trust their that whatever gut or their intuitive feel, like trust where their joy is flowing, and trust
Yes,
that they're on the right path. And you can tell by feeling happy, feeling joy, and not
yes,
buying into old beliefs that we had once upon a time, that in order for it to work, it had to be really horrible, or we had to
absolutely.
sacrifice. It's not that. Like I said, there are going to be days where it is hard work or there is lots of stuff going on. But as Kara's very, very graciously shared with us just a few tips today, there are lots of things that you can do to be honoring your journey as a business owner to leave your legacy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Cara. What an amazing chat. We'll definitely have to come back, I think, and revisit this. There's so many different rabbit holes I wanted to jump down today.
absolutely.
I had to really behave myself, but I'm so very grateful for everything that you've helped us learn today.
Thank you so much for having me on. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And we'll definitely leave some details in our show notes for how you can connect in with Cara on social media. And, if you feel like that little voice is saying that maybe it's something that you need to explore a little bit more, then go check her out. I highly recommend it.
thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, okay. We'll catch you soon. Thank
Okay.
you.
Bye.
Bye. Wow, what an amazing episode that was from Cara Glen. I hope you enjoyed listening to that as much as I enjoyed asking the questions and getting the information for you. I think the biggest takeaways there for me were the whole insight into us being able to be our own healers and having the tools to be able to heal ourselves and heal our business, which is just such an empowering message and something that I think is really important for us to remember. And the other thing is that whole visualization technique of imagining our business outside of ourselves, because I mean, that's really the whole premise of Sassy CEO. Is a lot of us, I think, are just too closely entwined with our business as women, where yes, we created it. Yes, it's, very much a part of us, but being able to really separate yourself from the entity and look at it more objectively, so that you can actually grow it and it can be something that is independent of you, which is a true business and a model for freedom, is so, so important. So what an amazing visualization there shared by Cara. I'm super, super grateful for that. Remember, if you are looking to have your own template or start creating your own plan for how you're going to scale and have more freedom and have something that supports you without you having to always be working in it, grab yourself a copy of the Sassy CEO Strategic Plan template. Head over to sassyceo.com.au/gift and you'll be able to download the template straight from there. Gift from me to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Can't wait to catch you on another episode of the Sassy CEO podcast. Catch you soon.